If you're looking for the best way to tikify your landscape, you have come to the absolute right place. Stay tuned, and we are going to explore the 3 best guaranteed surefire ways to tikify your landscape. Welcome to the Lagoon of Mystery, my home tiki bar here in Central Texas. As you may or may not be able to hear, we've got a little rain coming down. It is, late spring, pushing into summer. And I am potting up a cat palm that I just recently acquired. So cat palms are a member of a subclassification of palm trees, broadly known as the bamboo palms. That's because they send up multiple thin trunks. It somewhat resembles bamboo, and they don't get very high, at least certainly the cat palm doesn't. Now, if you're interested in the cat palm, the scientific name is Commedorea cataractarum. So try saying that 5 times fast. They're often found in big box stores, garden centers, pretty common for a houseplant. They can't survive really harsh direct sunlight. They can't survive freezing temperatures, and they don't like hard water or chlorinated water. So they have to be babied a little bit, but other than that, they're fairly easy to take care of. They bush out. They are a perfect size for the home tiki bar outside space, inside space too, if you have a south-facing window that gets a lot of good light. And I find them delightful. They're from southern Mexico and a nice addition for a potted plant. Now, if you are like me and are fortunate enough to have a outdoor space in the Sun Belt where the winters aren't too harsh, then you can spill out of your home tiki space into the yard and do some landscaping that will contribute to the overall tropical tiki vibe. And that's what I'm going to show you now. Okay, the 3 secret guaranteed surefire ways for you to tikify your landscape are palm trees, hibiscus, and passion flowers. You may think that is too simple, too easy, or I can't grow them. You may be surprised. Come on, let me explain. Before we start talking about plants seriously, we need to discuss USDA zone maps. This is a map put out by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. It covers all of the United States, and it divides the regions of the country up into zones based upon the lowest average winter temperatures. Okay, so obviously southern Florida, southern Texas, southern California are warmer than the Great Lakes regions or Alaska or the Northeast. So it's divided up, and it gives you a good idea of what plants can survive in your particular region. So familiarize yourself with this, and you're able to connect the types of plants that you want to grow with the types of plants that you can actually grow. Now, for those of you outside of the United States, I am sure, although I don't know for certain, that your particular governments have some sort of equivalent zone map to aid with growing various types of plants in the area that will thrive in your specific climate. Now, my number 1 recommendation for a palm tree to grow is the Sable Palm. Sable palms are native to the southeast United States. They grow naturally all the way up through North Carolina. They survive through USDA Zone 8A, but in sheltered areas, you could probably get away with them surviving in Zone 7B, maybe even 7A if you take precautions and protect them during the winter. Now, they're fairly cold hardy. I myself have seen them survive with very little damage in temperatures as low as 9 degrees Fahrenheit for several days. So they're robust palms. They're not terribly fast growing, but They are definitely hardy. They are low maintenance. You have to prune the trees as the palm fronds do not naturally shed, but this isn't terribly difficult. They grow to up to a maximum height of about 30 feet, and it's a really good maintenance-free palm tree if that's what you're looking for, and if you're in an area that can support this type of palm. They're fairly common, especially throughout the Southeast United States. I highly recommend them. They're a great choice. If you are a fan of the feather palms, then the Pendo Palm is made for you. The Pendo Palm, also known as the Butia palm, I believe it is native to Uruguay, northern Argentina, and southern Brazil. It's fairly cold hardy and grown throughout the southern United States. It's hardy through zone 8A, which again, this one has survived temperatures as low as 9 degrees Fahrenheit for several days. It wasn't terribly happy, took some frond damage. And as you can see, it's not terribly mature palm. These are a very slow growing palm tree, but they have beautiful long feather-like fronds to them. One of the cool aspects of this is that they produce an edible fruit. It's an orange yellow fruit that comes in clusters, and because of that, throughout the South it's known as the jelly palm. It has a very sweet tropical mango papaya scent that comes to it. It can be juiced and fermented into wine, or it can be turned into jelly, which is the reason why it has the colloquial name of jelly palm. But they are a gorgeous specimen tree. They're very slow growing, but once they mature with the sprawling waterfall of feather palms coming from it, they just can't be beat. They're a lovely tree, maintenance free, easy to care for. I'm a big fan of them, and if you live in a zone that can tolerate that they can survive in, then I highly recommend it. The Mediterranean fan palm is another cold hardy palm worth checking out. As its name suggests, it originates in Europe. That's its native habitat. Unlike other palms, it's a clumping palm. It will put up multiple trunks from the same root base. So you constantly have newer, smaller trees growing. It's fairly cold hardy, will tolerate winters through zone 8. In my personal case, again, this tree survived low temperatures of 9 degrees Fahrenheit for several days. It took some damage, but came through and recovered nicely. They don't get very large. They top out at about 12 feet tall, maybe 15 if you've got really ideal growing conditions. So if you have a limited amount of space and really want a palm tree that's going to give you the most bang for your buck, this is a good option. There's another palm tree that I personally do not grow, but I think really merits attention. It's probably the most cold tolerant palm tree there is commonly available, and that's the windmill palm. The windmill palm originates from Asia, colder regions of China, and this is a narrow, tall growing palm tree that has a very hairy, fibrous trunk to it. They're slender, low maintenance trees. They can survive down to zone 7 temperatures, cold winter temperatures in zone 7 easily. What's more, there is a specific cultivar that was isolated in Bulgaria, of all places, that survives in zone 6. So if you can find the Bulgarian variety of the windmill fan palm, and you live in zone 6 where temperatures drop below 0 degrees Fahrenheit on a regular basis, then this might be the palm for you. When you're dealing with a windmill palm, so many locations open up if you're really into growing a palm tree in a cold, non-tropical location. If you don't have much room, or you are in an area that has colder winters up through zone 7A and are looking for a true palm to grow in there, then you should consider Sable Miner. Sable Miner, again, grows throughout the southeastern United States. It is a native plant, but it is quite possibly the most cold, hardy palm tree native to the United States. It can survive up through zone 7, 7A, 7B, which is quite a bit colder than many places. Various cultivars of this have survived in Oklahoma during very harsh winters down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, if not colder. It is not a trunk farming palm. It stays low to the ground. The maximum height is about 4 feet. It forms fronds that come directly out of the ground, and it is a great landscaping centerpiece. So if you don't have a lot of space, vertical space, horizontal space for a palm trees such as the Sable Palm or the Windmill Palm or the Pendo Palm, then the Sable Miner, this palmetto, is a good option for you. I particularly love them. I think they're great and they add a fantastic tropical flair to any tiki landscaping. One palm tree I'm not recommending is a Mexican fan palm. These are found throughout Texas. They are planted widely in landscaping applications because they grow very quickly. I once had a 30-foot Mexican fan palm in my yard, but as you can see, it did not survive a 9-degree freeze. It killed it dead. So they are not super cold hardy. They shouldn't be grown outside of zone 9, which is far south Texas or far south Florida. That's just the way it is. You'll find them all over the place. They're fairly inexpensive, but if you plant one, you're taking your chances. Now, I am not by any means a palm tree expert, and most of what I know I've learned from various searching items out online, just learning all this. But if you are really determined to grow palm trees in less than tropical or subtropical locations, then the book you need is this right here, Palms Won't Grow Here and Other Myths by David A. Franco. This is a fascinating book from a botanist who is based in Louisville, Kentucky, and he has grown all manner of palm trees successfully in, again, a not ideal climate normally for palm trees. This goes into a lot of different tropical or subtropical or tropical looking plants that would add to your potential landscaping if you're looking to tiki-fy everything. So again, I can't go into everything in here, but I recommend you seeking this out if you want to do a deep dive into this type of gardening and landscaping. I think most of us would agree that there is no flower more closely associated with the tropics and tiki than hibiscus. Unfortunately, most tropical hibiscus can't survive the winters even the southernmost parts of the US experience. But there are other species of hibiscus that thrive in cold weather situations. For example, Althea, its official name is Hibiscus syriacus. It also goes by the name of Rose of Sharon. It is a temperate hibiscus from Asia. It's the national flower of Korea. And they thrive in climates with winters as low as minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. They survive and thrive in up to zone 5, which gets you into the Great Lakes regions of the United States. They come in many different forms. This is Aphrodite cultivar that's been around for a long time. It can get about 12 feet tall, flowers prolifically during the summer warm months, and just has beautiful, beautiful flowers. When I said that there were many different types of Hibiscus syriacus Althea, I wasn't kidding. This here is a Little Kim cultivar. It creates, it has blooms that are white with a red blush in the center, very attractive. It is a prolific bloomer, just boom, 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 all throughout the summer. But this is a more compact shrub, whereas the Aphrodite I showed you earlier can get 8 to 12 feet tall. This one tops out at about 4 feet. It stays small. It's really good to use as hedge, edging, border plants. It's, again, fairly drought tolerant, cold tolerant down to zone 5, withstands winters really well. It sheds its leaves during the winter and regrows them in the spring, and will just continue to flower as long as you give it enough water throughout the year. This is Minerva, another Hibiscus syriacus cultivar. This is another one of the old cultivars developed at the same time as Aphrodite. This one's got a little more purple in the flowers, has the red blush here. Again, this is a slow growing plant. They get, 8 to 12 feet tall. They are prolific flower producers during the summer as long as they get plenty of water. They're just really easy to grow, really easy to maintain, and add a fantastic tropical flair. Now, there are hundreds and hundreds of other Hibiscus syriacus hybrids out there. There are some columnar types that stay very narrow and grow straight up and flower. There are small shrubby types, just a wide range of bloom types and blossoms. They have double blossoms that are really frilly and elaborate. You just can't go wrong. There is absolutely a Hibiscus syriacus out there for you. And like the Aphrodite, when it gets cold, when the freezes hit, they don't die back to the ground. What they do is shed their leaves. This is a deciduous plant, and they stay barren like many trees do, without any leaves over the winter, and as soon as it warms up in the spring, they'll leaf out and begin flowering within a month. So they're a great option there. If you're looking for hibiscus that can tolerate cold weather, then you are not just limited to the Hibiscus syriacus. There are also the so-called hardy hibiscus types. These are hybrids of the species Hibiscus moschutos and Hibiscus coccineus. These are known as the swamp mallow, rose mallow. What they do is they grow, but then at the first frost, they die back to the ground, and then in the spring, regrow from the roots. These are rated for zone 5 in the USDA agricultural zone maps, the same as the Hibiscus syriacus, but these are reputed to be cold hardy, even more so, down to minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So this gets you all the way up into the Great Lakes regions, parts of Canada, the Pacific Northwest. They regrow very rapidly in the spring. As you can see, this is one of the oldest cultivars in existence for the flowering. This is a Lord Baltimore. They produce enormous flowers, 12 inches across, a third of a meter, just enormous dinner plate sized flowers. There are many different cultivars of this type. They come in all different shapes and sizes. These are more spindly. They grow tall. They get about 6 feet tall. There are other types like honeymoon white with eye, midnight rose, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of different cultivars. Some stay lower and mound. Some are full, bushy. They come in various different colors, not really yellows, blues, not so much, but there's a lot of shades of reds, orange, whites, combinations of these. They have multiple complex flowers, double blossoms. It's an incredible array of tropical hibiscus flowers coming from a plant that is not tropical at all and can withstand incredible amounts of cold winter and deep snowbanks. So again, if you are looking for that tropical flower flair and don't live anywhere near the tropics, these are a great option for you. Okay, gang, here's where I'm really excited, and I've been looking forward to this since I started the whole thing. We're going to talk about passion flowers now. This is a hybrid passion flower right here. This is Inspiration. It is a fantastic, beautiful purple type. There are many different passion flowers all throughout the New World. Some are more cold tolerant than others. Some are strictly tropical, but for my money, there is no flower that is more tropical and evocative of the Tiki aesthetic than a passion flower. You have the native North American passion flower Passiflora incarnata. It's more commonly known as maypop. These grow as far north as Zone 5 up in the Ohio River Valley. They can withstand incredibly cold winters. They produce an edible fruit that I don't think is quite as intense a flavor as the tropical passion fruit that we get in our syrups, but it is still quite delicious, and you can grow them and harvest the fruit and make syrups from that as well. This is a hybrid of the incarnata maypop crossed with some South American varieties. But there are so many different passion flowers to choose from. They grow as vines. They can cover trees, cover fences. They use they're tendril climbers, so they send out little tendrils to wrap around something to climb up. There is a tropical species that's very popular and very common that is cold hardy. It is Passiflora caerulea. It is a blue passion flower. It produces a bright orange fruit that is edible. Not terribly palatable though. It's not really good to eat. There are white varieties of passion flower. Caerulea has a white version called Constance Elliott, the cultivar, and the incarnata has a white version called Alba. There are so many different, I love them so much. You can hybridize them, you can crossbreed them. There are many nurseries online that sell different types of passion flowers. And just remember though, if you get Edulus, which is the commercial passion flower, which has its own spectacular flower as well, or any of these other ones, they will have to be protected for winter. The beauty of passion flower caerulea is that it is hardy throughout Zone 7. So in Zone 8, which is where I am, it stays evergreen. This is unheard of for a tropical passion flower. Caerulea will stay green throughout our normal winters, and its hybrids will as well. It's only when you get farther north into Zone 7 that they will die back to the ground during the winter and then regrow in the spring. That's the same thing with incarnata. Incarnata will die back to the ground during winter, invariably, and regrow in the spring. There is a type of passion flower called Fotida. It is a group of passion flowers. They have hairy leaves and hairy stems, have small, very small red fruit, but they are delicious. They often have pink or lavender flowers. These also are cold hardy up into Zone 7, and like the others, they will die back to the ground and regrow in the spring. Okay, this here is passion flower incense. It is a hybrid of incarnata and a South American species. If it looks similar to the inspiration I showed you earlier, that's because it shares the same parentage. This was created in the 1970s during Florida fruit breeding experiments. It was a failure as a fruiting vine, but guess what? It came out with a gorgeous flower that also has this spicy, sweet odor. It's delicious, and that lent its name incense. It's become a very popular ornamental flower and is probably the most commonly available passion flower in the garden trade at this point in time. So if you see it, you can snap it up. If this is the best you can do for passion flowers, you're still batting 1,000. They're cold hardy, die back to the ground during the winter, regrow from the roots in the summer, but you know what? They grow aggressively. They will cover a fence, grow over a tree in short order. This is one that will grow. It's almost foolproof. It doesn't need any type of babying. Put it in the ground, give it a little water, and watch it go off to the races. The thing I like most about them is they are so complex. They have the filaments to the side, they have the stamens, the pistils. They're an amazing amazing, fascinating flower to add to your tiki landscaping, especially if you have a fence that needs to be covered, because they will grow over it in short order. They attract butterflies. Gulf fritillary butterflies use them as the host for their caterpillars. They will munch down on the leaves, pupate, and turn into a bright orange butterfly that will fill your garden up with more caterpillars munching on them. But passion flowers grow so quickly that even after the vines are stripped, they will rebound and regrow once the butterflies and caterpillars are gone. So I kind of rambled on a little bit about this, talking about the fruit and the butterflies and the flowers, but you know, I am a big enthusiast, and for my money, there is nothing that you can add to your outdoor tiki space and landscaping that is more fascinating to guests, more beautiful, and more evocative of the tropics than passion flowers. I promised you some bonus plants for your tropical tiki landscaping, and I'm going to deliver here. First up is got to be one of the simplest to grow, the canna. People call these canna lilies. Cannas are grown mostly for their foliage. They come in a wide range of colors with their leaves. You can see here, this is variegated. They come in dark green leaf, light green leaf. They have purple leaves, they have red leaves, but they also have very nice flowers. They have attractive flowers, and those flowers are your workaround for cannas if you live in an area farther north than Zone 7. You see, cannas will go to seed readily and are easily grown from seed. So normally they will die back to the ground during the winter and regrow from the roots, but if you live in an area that is too cold for them to survive the winter, you can easily take the seeds and germinate them in the spring. They will grow, and within 90 days they will be flowering and producing more seed, so you can replant every year and treat them as an annual. It's easy to grow plant that makes a good accent and brings a tropical flair to any garden area. Pride of Barbados is another tropical flower that I just love to use in landscaping. The blossoms just add a tropical flair anywhere you plant them. As the name suggests, it's native to the Caribbean island of Barbados, but it grows great here in Texas. Officially, it's listed as recommended for Zone 8B. In fact, what it does during the freezes, it doesn't tolerate freezes or frost at all well. It'll die back to the ground. But as soon as the temperatures warm in the spring, it regrows from the roots. These plants here survived, again, as low as 9 degrees Fahrenheit, but also what they do, they will flower in one season from seed and will produce many, many seeds. So in that way, it could potentially become an annual plant for you. It's listed as Zone 8, but I suspect it can grow successfully in Zone 7 and even in colder climes if you take precautions with it. Highly recommended, easy, trouble-free plant. Is there any plant that's more tropical than a banana? This particular banana is Dwarf Brazilian. They are one of the more cold, hardy fruiting types. And as you can see here, it's produced a flower, and I have several hands of baby bananas. I started with one very small pup, planted it in the middle, and as you can see, it's very prolific in putting up suckers. During the winter months, when it's freezes are expected, generally more than just 32 light frost, but when we have projected temperatures down into the 20s, I will cover them with a frost cloth, and if it's expected to be even colder than that, I will put C9 incandescent Christmas lights inside to generate heat to keep them warm. If you don't have room for a banana plant the size of a Dwarf Brazilian, then might I suggest the Dwarf Arenico. Here you can see a cluster of fully grown plants, and maximum they're around 6 feet tall. This makes them ideal candidates for a large potted container. They're very cold hardy, even more cold hardy in my experience than the Dwarf Brazilian. And if you're interested in growing these for fruit, well, you're in luck, because for the past several years, they've fruited for me regularly. What's interesting about this banana, apart from the fact that it is quite small and quite cold hardy, is that it is a hybrid. Well, all of these banana plants are hybrids, but this is a hybrid between a dessert banana and a plantain banana. Plantain bananas are the large starchy bananas that are used to make tostones, or in Africa they're used in place of potatoes. So this one, when the fruit are green, they can be used just like a plantain, cooked, baked with, that sort of thing. But when they ripen, they get soft and very sweet. They have a really light, crisp, pear-like flavor, which is distinct from the Cavendish type bananas you get in the store. And it's really delightful. And it's become one of my favorite bananas, especially getting to eat from my own plant. One last point before we leave bananas behind for good is if you are in a colder region of the country and really want the banana plant aesthetic for your landscape and aren't terribly concerned with getting your banana fruit anywhere else other than the grocery store, then you need to look into the Bastio banana, also known as the Japanese fiber banana. It produces inedible fruit, but it is cold hardy all the way up to zone 5. It can survive winters where the temperatures get down to -10 degrees Fahrenheit. That's freaking cold, folks. Now, you gotta understand that with bananas, cold hardy, cold tolerance doesn't mean that they don't freeze back to the ground. All bananas will freeze back to the ground when it gets cold enough, when freezes happen. But those that are cold tolerant, those that are cold hardy, such as the Bastio, once they freeze down to the ground, they will regrow from the roots once the weather warms up in the spring. So I've never grown this myself, but I have it on good authority. I've seen other people in colder parts of the country do so successfully. So if you're looking for a banana plant that it is bulletproof against cold as it is physically possible, then look into the Bastio. So I hope you have found some of what I've shown you today to be of use. Whether you're going to grow plant some palm trees, cold hardy palm trees in your tiki space, or cold tolerant hibiscus, or banana plants that will regrow every year after a freeze. You have a lot of great options for tropical landscaping to take that tiki experience to the next level. So until next time, from the Lagoon of Mystery, aloha.